If you're tuning into this video, I just gotta give you a big thank you for taking time off your busy gaming schedule when you could be playing games like, I don't know, Sifu, Dying Light 2, Horizon, Elden Ring. Wait, we could be playing Elden Ring right now? Okay, let's speed this up so I can get back to that game. If you're looking for the best games to play with your friends, you're in luck, because the Co-op Monthly is your #1 source for the best co-op games released this month, the games coming out next month, and any big co-op announcements in between. It's our latest video series delivered to you at the end of each month, so let's get started. To start off the review roundup for February, we've got a wholesome co-op puzzler with you, developed by one person as their thesis game at NYU, which is pretty awesome. Adding on to the feel-good nature of the story, it was specifically designed to bring couples together and encourage healthy habits of communication. I mean, come on, that is what it's all about, people. With You has garnered its fair share of reviews on Steam and sits at a very positive rating, so congratulations on a successful thesis project. So, remember how I said the boys were going to be playing Dying Light 2 on launch and get a review out for you guys? Yeah, well, Dying Light 2 may be sitting at a modest 77 on OpenCritic as a single-player game, but it launched in a less than ideal state overall, but especially in co-op. There have been multiple reports of the game being close to unplayable in multiplayer, which is a major bummer for us. The developers have promised to focus on this issue, specifically in their early patches. However, as much as we'd like to be at the forefront of this one, as part-time YouTubers, we can't risk our precious playtime to review a broken game, so we'll have to come back to this later. Another disappointing release to hear about was Zoria, the Celestial Sisters. Sorry about that. Despite a distinctive art style and co-op focused gameplay, this one wound up with a 67 on OpenCritic. It seems the consensus is that the controls and the camera are a bit wonky and just don't really work all that well. It's probably best tried first as a demo on Steam before you make the actual purchase. This was one of my weird finds from last month that I didn't have a whole lot of trust in. Well, it turns out almost no one ended up playing Derby Conga, no reviews on Metacritic, OpenCritic, and only 15 reviews on Steam. Hey, at least those reviews sit at a positive, so who knows. Amazon's one success story in the world of gaming finally got its full release everywhere, and boy did it not let Uncle Jeff down. It's sitting at an 83 on OpenCritic and garnering almost universal praise. It's actually looking to challenge some of the stalwarts of the MMO genre. I heard a lot of good things about its robust combat system and basically endless content. If I could finally get off my high horse and play an MMO, I would probably give this a go, but my gaming schedule says otherwise. River City Girls Zero got a drop on our Switch this month and is a prequel of sorts to the popular River City Girls. It's more of a restoration of Shin Neketsu Koha Kunio Tachi no Banka, can't believe I just nailed that, with some nice added details that help modernize the package. I think Nintendo Life summarized it well, ending their review by saying, while it's very much a game of its era, River City Girls Zero is still rewarding for those interested in experiencing one of the saga's more creative entries. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires can be played online in co-op, but you might want to skip out on it. Most reviews are coming in pretty negative with a 62 overall on OpenCritic, often citing the game being more dedicated to the dedicated fans only. That's too bad because after Age of Calamity, I'll be looking forward to a good co-op Muso style game, so here's hoping that Final Fantasy III House's game has some co-op. Total War Warhammer 3 was released, unsurprisingly, to universal acclaim. It's sitting at an 88 on OpenCritic, absolutely knocking out those critic reviews. IGN went out of its way to mention how fun the game is with friends, despite some network errors. This is a game I'd like to think we could handle, but probably not. Happy for those of you who can. It came, it saw, and it conquered. Yes, that's a 96 overall on OpenCritic, tied for second of all time with a lot of our favorites. We could go on and on about Elden Ring because yeah, we are playing it, but let me just say this. It's easier than ever to play in co-op, so if you have a friend and you're both playing, definitely just give it a few tries in co-op. It's a great time. We'll talk more in a couple months in our overall comprehensive review. February was the official start to review season, and March isn't looking to slow down on hot co-op releases, so let's get to it. First up, we have Babylon's Fall, which makes its way to the PlayStation family and PC on March 3rd. This is one from the makers of Nier Automata, Platinum Games, and features 4-player online co-op, no local option here sadly. We've been cautiously, optimistic, maybe pessimistic, I don't know. Platinum Games hits more than they miss, and the idea of taking the combat system of Nier but placing it in a cooperative action RPG sounds like it's up our alley, so we'll see. If you're looking for a real game though, not an RPG or a shooter or any of that kiddie stuff, you might be hardcore enough to stomach Ryan's Rescue Squad. Rescue Squad hits PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on March 4th, featuring 2-player local co-op. The characters are really the best part of this dark and seedy adventure game. You can play as the titular Ryan, Combo Panda, my personal favorite, Alpha Lexa, and my also personal favorite, Gus the Gummy Gator. I mean, look at this guy. He looks freaking bad as. Next up is Jitsu Squad, a totally chaotic 4-player local beat-em-up launching on March 8th. You can play on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is one of the most fast-paced beat-em-ups I think I've ever seen in a trailer. Paired up with the cartoony animation, this honestly looks like a lot of fun. Plus, it started out as a Kickstarter, which is cool, and there's a free demo on all platforms if you're looking to try it out before a purchase. Now, if you're looking for something a bit more manageable, you might like This Means Warp, a 4-player spaceship management roguelike launching on March 17th, my birthday. Never heard of such a genre, but hey, count me in as Captain Picard.
Captain Picard.
Okay, moving on. There's a couple cool features here that piqued our interest, particularly the procedurally generated maps and a dynamic story system that adapts to your choices. Could be cool, won't have to wait long to find out. Alright, here's an interesting one. On March 18th, we'll know if Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is a great co-op game or just a meme game with a really long name. Regardless, you'll be able to play this one on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, featuring 3-player online co-op. Stranger of Paradise comes from Team Ninja, who, made the great Neo series, so there's a reason to hope, but we could easily see this end up in chaos. Chaos, the whole chaos thing. Okay, I'm sorry. We had to keep the whole joke going, I'm sorry. If you watched the last monthly, then you know we're incredibly excited at the idea of local co-op in Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and we'll get to see it in all its glory when it launches on March 25th for the Nintendo Switch. Our excitement for this one has only increased after Nintendo's first Direct earlier this month. If Mouthful Mode doesn't get you excited, then I don't know, man. I don't think you even belong in the video game world. Here's hoping we get an in-depth look at co-op in the next preview. Wrapping up our big releases this month is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, coming to every platform on March 25th. Like the core series of Borderlands games, this one will feature 4-player online and local co-op. While it still features the ludicrous amount of guns the series is known for, Wonderland looks to mix it up by adding spells and other fantasy weapons fitting for its D&D inspired setting. We love Borderlands 3, and we're a big fantasy nerd, so this looks to land big for us. Here's a new segment we're trying out for our monthly show that we're calling Save That Money. With the onslaught of games coming out right now, your wallet is probably looking pretty slim like mine, making it hard to invest in games to play with your friends. Well, we've got your back. During this segment, we'll compile our favorite deals and promotions for each platform: PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Steam/PC. There's dozens of deals each month, but these will be the ones that we find the most notable. Starting things off on Steam Store, you can pick up Hunt Showdown Anniversary Edition for 65% off. That's a $70 value you're getting for only $24, which is essentially the base price of the game. This edition comes with 4 different cosmetic packs for both guns and character skins. We reviewed Hunt a while back, and while we had some fun, there wasn't enough there to keep us playing for the long term. We heard the PC version of the game was better, and after 2 years, there's bound to be more content too. No date on how long this deal will last, so if you're curious about Hunt, this might be your best chance to hop on. Over at the PlayStation Store, there is an obscene amount of games on sale. The only catch being that most of the deals end towards the end of this week, so you gotta act fast. With so many to choose from, we had to go with Divinity Original Sin 2, which you can pick up for $23, a 60% markdown, more if you have PS Plus actually. So listen, if you haven't played this yet, here's your chance. Divinity is without a doubt one of the best co-op games you can play, and whether you choose to play it local or online, it's a total steal at this price. Another significant markdown is Trine 3 over at the Nintendo eShop. From now until March 3rd, you can pick up Trine 3 for an easy $5 US, folks, a whopping 75% markdown. The Trine games are excellent co-op games, especially since you can play 3 players online or through local. This one is great for playing with a younger sibling, as the puzzles and combat are never too complicated. Finally, to wrap up this month's deals, we have House of Ashes for 33% off for the Xbox Series S and X, setting you back a total of $20. This isn't your typical co-op game, but we've heard this last Dark Pictures game has an excellent movie night mode where you take turns controlling different characters of the cast. Gabe talked about this one in his horror game video, and it's definitely one of those games from last year that we just never got around to playing. But since we're playing a horror game right now in The Forest, I think that I am more inclined to try this out sometime this year. More on that in the weeks to come. We've got a very busy news month for co-op games, so let's just hop straight into it. I'm sorry to start off on a bad foot, but my boy, Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, broke our hearts when he reported that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will probably be delayed to 2023. This is just a rumor for now, but not terribly surprising with how long Rocksteady has already taken to put this one together. It's fine guys, this year is already hype enough. Let's just hope this one comes out when it's ready to wow us. Keeping the bad news rolling, head of creative for Halo Infinite, Joseph Staten, tweeted that while we expected to hear news on Halo's co-op mode and more in January, they were sadly not ready to finalize their plans. This can't mean anything good for when co-op will finally come to our Xboxes, which is especially tough for Gabe and me, because we've sworn an oath to wait until co-op was released to play Halo Infinite. Kinda regretting that right now. Our sacrifice will be remembered. Nintendo dropped a fat direct with some amazing news looking at you Mario Strikers that also included some juicy co-op tidbits. Let's talk about it. Splatoon 3's Salmon Run. This is just a tough video for pronunciations. It's making its return. You'll remember this as the co-op mode from Splatoon 2 that, while it was pretty fun, it was weirdly only available part of the time, a classic Nintendo move. It looks to add a few more bosses and the ability to pass the eggs around, which actually is revolutionary. Splatoon 3 is coming to us this summer, so get the hype machine rolling. Portal and Portal 2 are coming to Switch in the Companion Collection sometime this year. Would you believe me if I told you that Gabe and I have never played the Portal games? I know, we are experts in co-op, I promise. We'll get to this one day. No Man's Sky is coming to Switch this summer, and honestly, I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. That drum game, Taiko no Taijutsu, That drum game, Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival, apparently has 4-player co-op. Honestly, it looks pretty dope, and it's coming sometime this year. And finishing out the Direct's co-op announcements, Advance Wars has confirmed online multiplayer, but not necessarily co-op yet. I'm hoping they follow in Wargroup's footsteps because their co-op campaigns were amazing. One of the most anticipated co-op games of the year, Salt and Sacrifice, got a May 10th release date announced in a new trailer. May is a pretty free month as of right now, so I'm hoping this will be our game of the month to review come that time. Are you worried about Hogwarts Legacy not releasing this year? Me too, but luckily for all of us, there's a Western release of the hugely popular Harry Potter Magic Awakened, and yes, it has co-op. As reported by the gamer's Sean Murray, it should be coming to Android this year with iPhone waiting for an official release date. It's a card-based PvE and PvP game that looks way better than it should be, honestly. Check out the trailer for yourself. Baldur's Gate 3 is getting another delay. It's been in early access since 2019, but looks like it won't come until at the earliest 2023. We'll wait and make it as good as Paulus' Divinity, and it's all good. Finally, Scathe was announced, a Doom-like bullet hell that will include drop-in, drop-out co-op. The trailer looks very legit, and Doom and co-op just makes sense to me. This looks to come out this year, and we'll be checking out as soon as we can if that's the case. And that's it. Thanks for watching this month's Co-op Monthly, and a special thanks to everyone who gave us feedback on the first one. We're committed to making great videos for you guys, so we're always grateful for any feedback. As such, you'll notice we made a couple of changes, so hopefully they make this new series even better. And as always, thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and helping us out by liking the video. We'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.